Bristol Motor Speedway, tonight's NASCAR Slim Jim All-Pro Series Gambler Bass Boats 200. It's stop number 10 on the 22 race $1 million NASCAR Slim Jim Tour. Our Suzuki starting grid, 36 cars will start, led by that man right there, Ron Young, 25-year-old Conyers, Georgia driver in a Chevy Monte Carlo. Remember him? He won his first race in All-Pro competition early this year, live on ESPN at Martinsville Speedway. He's flanked by a rookie, Nipper Alsop, second-generation driver. And how about some other youngsters up there, Benny Parsons? David Hutto, last year's Goodies Dash Series champion, making his first start. He starts fourth.
And Sean Monroe comes all the way from California to start sixth. Our points leader, Rick Crawford, started in seventh spot. Wayne Anderson back in ninth. He'll be carrying an onboard camera. And Hank Parker Jr. back in 15th.
Look at page 2. Our point leader, Toby Porter, 3 wins this year, coming off that win out of Topeka, Kansas on the road course. Starts in 18th spot, the car number 80, Tammy Joe Kirk back there. Some of the other veterans back in the field. We mentioned 36 cars. Cliff Strickland starts 30th. Had he worked all night to rebuild that race car. And Kenny Emler starts 36, shotgun on the field. There were 3 drivers who did not qualify. Those are the guys who went home. We're talking about Willie Stroop's car number 47, Toby Alfrey in the car number 12, and Randy Renfro, who will drive a truck later at Bristol, Tennessee. He had an engine problem in his North Carolina Sweet Potato sponsored car. A couple of in-car cameras tonight. We'll ride along with Tammy Joe Kirk, former expert motorcycle, flat track motorcycle racer. She starts outside, row 10 and 20th spot, 34-year-old veteran in the Lovables Chevrolet. And how about a rookie driver, impressive rookie driver? Wayne Anderson, second-generation driver. His father, Dick Anderson, Mr. Stock Car Racing, short track style in Florida. Wayne, a 2-time pole sitter here in 1996. The racetrack, well, it needs no introduction, but we'll tell you about it anyway. It's .533 miles, 650 feet front stretch and back stretch. The corners banked at 36 degrees, and the straightaway 16 degrees. It is the most steeply banked facility in all of NASCAR stock car racing. The points leaders here after 9 events. This is the 10th. They're calling it the halfway point of the NASCAR Slim Jim All-Pro Series. Toby Porter, a scant 10-point margin over Rick Crawford. Ron Young, tonight's pole sitter, another 98 points back. Mike Cope in 4th. That's a 1994 champion. And how about Stephen Christian? He's a rookie driver and a 2-time winner this year in All-Pro competition. He is from Kingsport, Tennessee, making his return to his home. And he said a year ago, Benny, I sat in the stands and watched this exciting All-Pro race and said maybe someday I want to be there. Little did he know he'd be leading the rookie points and be in the top 5 a year later.
And with a couple of victories this year, I did say that Rick Crawford was the points leader. Obviously, that was incorrect. He is in second, just 10 points behind Toby Porter. And there we see the Slim Jim All-Pro cars getting ready. The next time by, the Chris Monroe will wave the green, and we will be off for 200 very, very exciting laps around this racetrack. Let's face it, a lap by yourself around this racetrack can be exciting, much less when you throw 35 other cars on the Speedway.
Roof cam from Tammy Joe Kirk back in 20th spot. There is the Porter cable machine. Wayne Anderson starting inside row 5. Our 2 roof cameras. 36 cars will start. Glad to have you with us. Marty Reed, Benny Parsons, and yours truly, Jerry Punch, bringing you NASCAR Slim Jim All-Pro action from Thunder Valley at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Steve Allison in the 2 car goes up, and Nipper also on the outside hung out there.
For Nipper also. As the field flashes by, coming to full speed, they average over 125 miles an hour. Ron Young, our leader. There's a 74 car, rookie driver, William Alsop, the 3rd. They call him Nipper.
And Sean Monroe, the 48 car, right behind him. Once again, a young man from California. And Brian Ross in the black 21.
Only the 2nd start of the year for Brian Ross. R&R Fabrication Chevrolet. At his 7th, 8th, and 9th. You're watching there with the 74 car being in 7th spot.
John Monroe, the 48 car, was one of our heroes of Winter Heat in Tucson this past winter. There's Ron Young, the Pizza Plus machine, pole sitter. and the leader at this point. And right now, he's probably led more laps. He's led 5 laps. That's more laps than he's led all year, and yet he's won 2 races.
Ron Young picked up his first career All-Pro victory. We said earlier this year, back in April at Martinsville Speedway. Picked up his second career pole here in qualifying yesterday in Bristol, Tennessee.
That's the second corner here at Bristol Motor Speedway. We see Scott Sutherland in 23. There's Derek Stevens in the 44, the white 44. You're familiar with him in Busch Grand National Series. This is the first race in the All-Pro Series. Brian Ball in the 04, the green and white machine. And in front of Brian is, looks like Tammy Joe.
Scott Sutherland, the car number 23. You mentioned Dirk Stevens in the 44 car. It's Lee McAllister's house car. McAllister, a very famous car builder for the All-Pro Series. Had a number of different drivers drive for him this year. Toby Porter has driven for him, Hal Goodson, Marty Lindley, Bobby Gill, and now Dirk Stevens, the former Northwest Tour Series champion in that car 44.
It's Tammy Jo Kirk, a 52 car, the Lovables machine. A lot of pressure from Brian Ball in 04. And the 44, Dirk Stevens going to try it on the outside. I don't think so. Use your head there. We'll see Kenny Emler of the 90 car on the apron of the racetrack. I'll tell you that Mark Gerke, also the 41 car, when the green flag was waved, he made a pit stop, went in the pits, and spent 4 or 5 laps. So a bad start for Mark Gerke this afternoon.
Watching Tammy Jo Turk, who expects to make her Busch Grand National Series debut with that lovable sponsor out of Beaufort, Georgia, coming up in Richmond in September. There's Gene Bloom, car number 38, having some trouble down on the inside. His first start in All-Pro competition this year.
And there's our points lead to the 80 car. Toby Porter, the first time we've seen him. The black car in the middle of the picture. There's the battle for third spot. David Hutto in the red 43, last year's Goodies Dash champion, followed closely by Steve Allison and Rick Crawford. Back behind, that is in 5th spot, would be Crawford.
Boy, Hutto has been impressive in the car number 43. He had never seen an All-Pro car up close until he got here on Friday morning. Had never driven Bristol, Tennessee in an All-Pro car, of course, and qualified this car 4th.
And Steve Allison slipped or something because Crawford closed up right on the back bumper. And there's Wayne Anderson trying to go on the outside. We can see from his onboard camera on the roof of Wayne Anderson's car. Crawford's circle bar car direct in front as they go by George Engel in 17.
That's 5th and 6th position. Looking at the rear of the Ford Thunderbird, Rick Crawford. Wayne Anderson started back in 9th spot, now running in 6th position.
And Steve Allison almost made contact with 79, the yellow car, that Spanx Overbeck. And there's another car, the 1 green and white machine of Steve Cook down the inside. The cars get by without any problem.
That's a roof cam of Wayne Anderson. He blew an engine after 2 laps of practice. Never got any practice prior to qualifying, and yet still qualified in the 9th position inside of row 5. So he felt when the green flag dropped, he would be a factor. Here you see those cars, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. With Hutto in 3rd spot, Allison in 4th, the car number 2. Then comes Crawford in the 14. Then Anderson in the 25.
And there's the lead. We see their leader, Ron Young, in some traffic. And Mike Cope. Oh, we got a spinner.
That's Nipper Alsop in the 74, who was on the outside of the front row.
And no caution flag, Jerry. No caution. Tough break for Alsop.
He gets the car righted and headed in the right direction. Back up front, Ron Young in the car number 4, the Pizza Plus Chevrolet. Mike Cope, there's 57 car running in 2nd spot. He had lost about 3 or 4 car lengths, now pulls back to within about 4 car lengths of the leader.
Brad Payne, the 22 car that they're going by. Mike Cope making a charge on our leader, Ron Young.
Look again at what happened to Nipper Alsop a moment ago, just past the start-finish line.
Well, there's 4 or 5 cars jammed up there, and wow. can't tell who that black car is, can't tell the number on it, but also goes around. He's fortunate he did not make contact with the inside pit wall.
Looked like he was trying to jump on the brakes. He saw a slow car. He pulled down. It was a slow car in the lower lane. Might have jumped on the brakes and spun the car around. Ron Young, our pole sitter, continues to hold the lead here in the early laps of the Gamber Blast Boats 200 at Bristol Motor Speedway. Back with more live Slim Jim action after this. Tonight's ESPN Speed World presentation is being brought to you by Texaco Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Controls volatility and fights vaporization. By Firestone, America's tire since 1900. And by Suzuki. The Suzuki motorcycle and ATV dealer has the ride you've been waiting for and the financing to get it. Good crowd on hand at Bristol, Tennessee after a scorcher of a day. It's cooled off to the mid-70s, humidity about 65%. Just a perfect evening for racing here in the Blue Ridge Mountains of eastern Tennessee. And Benny, we're under caution for the first time here on lap 26.
Yeah, piece of debris on the racetrack, no big major problem. You see the empty grandstands in the back. One reason that they haven't opened them up for the fans this evening, they're doing a lot of work back there. They've moved about 750,000 cubic yards of dirt, getting ready to expand and build more seats here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Benny, they have 75,000 seats here, and they said yesterday they plan on adding, but in the next 12 to 18 months, they're going to add 55,000 seats here to give the capacity of this racetrack 130,000, the largest sports arena in the state of Tennessee. So you fans have been wanting to come to Bristol, have been waiting for tickets. Now you're going to get your chance because the seats are going to be available here very soon. Let's check in the pits with Marty Reed.
Well, guys, let's give you an update on Nipper Alsop. He was sitting on the outside of the front row. He got just a lousy start. That was according to the crew chief. And then on the spin, I talked to him, and Shane says, hey, all he did was flat spot some tires. It's going to be a rough ride, but we've got to get to that window. We've got to get to 60 laps because they need 140 laps out of the second set of tires.
Second set of tires. You mean they only get 2 sets, Marty?
That's it, Benny. The only 2. We'll tell you more about that a little bit later because I think we're getting ready to go back racing.
All right. You've got to look at Nipper Alsop. Remember Bill Alsop, his dad, 1979 Rookie of the Year at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, driving for Roger Penske. Well, this is stock car racing, and they wave the green once again. Rick Monroe on the flag stand. Ron Young speeds away with Mike Cope in close pursuit.
25 car, Wayne Anderson, the Porter cable car. He is flying, folks. It's fantastic. Oh, you saw a piece of fender fly off. The 22 Brad Payne's car has got a foot.
Sutherland's got the left front fender missing. That's part of Sutherland's fender, that yellow piece of carbon fiber and fiberglass on the racetrack, and now there's the 23 car. Left front fender and part of the left door missing from Scott Sutherland's Wattle Paint Chevrolet.
So I guess that the right rear of Brad Payne's car and the left front of Scott Sutherland's car made contact.
That would be the logical assumption.
Logical assumption. May be wrong, but it would just be logical anyway.
All right, well, with caution out for the second time while we go find the left front fender from Scott Sutherland's car and other pieces and parts of that Wattle Chevy, we'll waddle toward a commercial. Back with more live action from Bristol, Tennessee right after this. Stay with us. Back at Bristol Motor Speedway under caution for the second time today. Back to within 3 laps under caution. We had some debris, some of the carbon fiber and fiberglass off these cars. There is Scott Sutherland's car number 23 still flapping the left side door.
And he made a pit stop. I mean, he made a pit stop, but evidently they were not able to get the door glued or taped or nailed or whatever they're going to do to the suspension. Let's watch again and see if we can see if Sutherland... They aren't even close. How did that happen?
I think they'd already had contact maybe coming into turn 3, Benny, because Brad Payne already had damage to his car when they came out of turn 4, and apparently they are going to...
I guess Sutherland was too fast down pit road. Marty, what's going on down there?
Well, you're right. They did come in the first time and were not able to figure out what they could do to get this panel back on. Now they've got a drill, and they're cutting a couple of holes in there. Then they're going to try and run a line through it and just tie it down to the framework, and that'll keep it from flapping up, hopefully. But you're right. He is going to get a 15-second penalty on top of this. Now, they have got like a bungee cord almost on this thing. I think the wind's going to pull that thing. He's still going to be flapping in the breeze. They're going to keep working on it here, but it's going to be a long stop, and he's going to lose a lap, and he's already, Sutherland knows that, well, his chances of winning are over.
Well, tough break for Scott Sutherland. You see him working on the left side of the car there. In the Slim Jim Series, you cannot advance to pit. Even if you have a problem on the racetrack, you can't advance past the leader, and apparently that's what we were told by NASCAR. And he advanced to pit, and therefore that's the 15-second penalty, and that will cost him a lap. Tammy Jo Kirk, you saw her a moment ago. She's been on and off pit road a couple of times in the lovable Chevrolet as we get set for green flag racing. 36 laps of 200 here. The Gambler Bass Boat 200 now lap 37 for the restart.
Battle for second place, the 57, Mike Cope, and the 25, Wayne Anderson. They were riding alongside with Wayne Anderson on top of the Porter cable automobile. And that, folks, that's not a cable. That's really, truly power tools, drills and wrenches and air guns and stuff like that.
Mike Cope, the 1994 Slim Jim All-Pro Series champion. He is yet to go to victory lane this year, won 5 times a year ago. And Wayne Anderson, rookie driver in the 25 car, his best finish is second at Pensacola. He's never been here before. The first time he had come to this racetrack was Friday morning. He only got 2 laps of practice prior to blowing the engine. Put another engine in to qualify, and still qualified in the top 10.
See Rick Crawford. There's David Hutto in the 43, and Sean Monroe, the 48. Surfer dude himself.
John Monroe from out west. And he's talking about being a surfer dude. Young man, his family installs pools, spends a lot of time around water, either putting the pools in or on a surfboard. As he and David Hutto get together. Hutto started the year in NASCAR Goodies Dash competition, ran 5 races, won 2 of the 5, decided to get out of the Dash Series and prepare to go push Grand National.
Oh, we've got a car on this roof down the front straightaway.
That's Dirk Stevens in the 44 car. He tumbles back to his wheels. And the 96 car also involved. Stevens' car tumbled over on his roof, slid the length of the front stretch upside down, and then careened into the first turn wall, has come back on its roof. There's a 96 car of Dan Matthews out of Raleigh, North Carolina. The rear of his car heavily damaged.
Dirk Stevens, is he driving that car? Where did the 44 go? Did he drive it? No, he stopped over there.
Down on the apron of turn 2.
Let's check out the speed shot. Dirk Stevens is going to get forced up in the wall by someone. There we see him climb the wall and go tumbling over on his roof down into turn 1.
Now a shot from turn 1. There's Dirk Stevens, left side of your car sliding upside down. Now watch the back of the car tap the wall here, or maybe the side of the car. Yeah, that taps the wall and the car rolls back on to all 4s. Now here's another shot, real time. We'll let you watch and listen. There's Dirk Stevens, fortunately able to climb out after a wild ride.
Hey, Dirk, how you doing? Well, you're doing great, I guess. Yeah, don't forget nothing.
Well, Dirk's first All-Pro.
He's talking to somebody. Said, man, what are you doing to me?
Hey, that was a wild ride, but fortunately he's okay and able to smile. His first start in All-Pro, well, an exciting one. Didn't last long, but he certainly has a memory from Bristol, Tennessee. Back in a moment. Under caution of Bristol, Tennessee for the 3rd time tonight at Bristol Motor Speedway. That's what's left of the 44 car, the very first time that Dirk Stevens makes an entry into NASCAR Slim Jim All-Pro competition. And he'll remember this one. A lot of action coming up this week at fastest half hours in television, RPM tonight, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. John Kernan will be on him along with Benny Parsons. And yours truly, Jerry Punches. We'll be bringing you all the action in motorsports around the world, IndyCar, NASCAR, Stock Car Racing, Formula One. We'll have it on RPM at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Then on Sundays, Kenny Mayne on hand. as RPM at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on Sunday afternoon. Be sure to tune in to RPM tonight on ESPN2. Now let's take a look from Tammy Jo Kirk's vantage point, our roof cam on the lovable Chevrolet. Heard Tammy Jo back out a moment, go down low and miss all that. And she's been on and off pit road a couple of times. Marty Reed, what's her problem?
Yeah, she's been having a heck of a problem with the car being loose. And every time they've been in, they thought they might have a little better handle on it. So far, they're still searching for it. And she's just lucky she didn't get swallowed up in that crash.
She sure was.
Benny, look at the bumper sticker up right behind her headrest there. That's their motto.
Burn rubber, not bras, right?
Lovable is a company out of Beaufort, Georgia, signed up with Tammy Jo, and they're going to take this young lady, a very impressive, very talented young lady, spent 25 years. There you go. That's the toolbox from their pits. They got a few other mottos we won't use on television, but they're having a lot of fun and certainly getting a very good sponsorship from a great company in Beaufort, Georgia. Going to make her Busch Series debut in Richmond, Virginia. We'll have that on ESPN coming up in September. Going to run 5 Busch Series races here the remainder of 1996. Still working caution number 3 at Bristol Motor Speedway. A wild ride by the car number 44, Dirk Stevens. He has walked away. We'll take a quick break and come back with more Green Flag Racing action. Stay with us. Perfect timing back at Bristol, Tennessee. Green flag waves. Restart lap 51. We're a quarter of the way through this 200-lap event. 3 Chevrolets, a Ford, and a Pontiac. That's the top 5. They head off turn 2. Ron Young showing the way. There's Mike Cope in 57 car. He's in second. Wayne Anderson, the rookie, really putting pressure on him.
There's the entire field going by. Boy, Anderson's car really looks strong. His dad was here last year and set a new qualifying record in a Dodge and had some kind of problem in the race, but I think was leading the race when he had that problem. So maybe he passed some of the setup tips along to his son. It sure looks that way.
And his dad's track record still stood after this year's qualifying. 15.53-second lap. Awfully quick, very close to the Winston Cup track record, which was held by Mark Martin here at 15.33 seconds.
And Cope is coming. He has gained on Ron Young. And there's point leader Toby Porter, the 80 car, trying to work his way forward.
Back up front, Mike Cope in the 57, starting to put some pressure on Ron Young. He in the car number 4. Cope moving ever so close out of turn 4.
Almost had a run, and we see Rick Crawford. Evidently, Ron Young's car is slowing down because I see Crawford has been able to catch up in the 14 car.
Got a change for 5th position. The car number 48 makes a pass. Sean Monroe goes by David Hutto to make that pass, takes the position. Meanwhile, back up front, the front 4 cars are all together. Ron Young, Mike Cope. Young is the 4 car, Cope the 57.
We saw Scott Sutherland down on the inside. He's just having trouble keeping that fender door down, so you'll make another pit stop. Another pit stop. One of many pit stops.
Leaders work by George Engdahl, veteran of this series of a number of years. Work to the high side of the 03 of Ken Alexander. That's Wayne Anderson's roof camera. Wayne Anderson, Porter Cable. We mentioned he's a rookie driver, leads what is an incredible rookie competition this year. Stephen Christian actually leads the rookie points. Wayne Anderson second, and Nipper also third.
Oh, here's some traffic right in front of our leaders. Brian Ball in the 04 car. There's the 10.
Whoa, Anderson has to jump on the brakes to keep him tagging the back of Mike Cope. Ron Young tiptoeing around the outside of the 59 car. Bobby Ross Wood.
Oh, Anderson almost lost it as he came off the corner. I don't know if the Crawford car tagged him in the rear or what, but he got the car extremely loose. And evidently, Mike Cope had some kind of problem trying to get by because he has lost almost a half straightaway on our leader, Ron Young.
One of the slower cars slipped up in front of Cope, but he jammed on the brakes, and so did Anderson. And Anderson did a great job just to hang on to the car. As you said, they've lost a lot of room. The leader there just entering turn 1, and the leader's coming out of 2.
Anderson trying to get on the inside of Cope. He might have him down on the apron of the racetrack, almost make contact. Rick Crawford, the 14 car, behind this duel, watching everything. Let's see Rick Crawford. Circle Bar Motel and RV Park, Ozona, Texas, was sponsored on Crawford's car.
Rick won the season opener back in Barberville, Florida, back in February 17th. As you watch this battle, we will check in with a young man who took a wild ride on his roof. Marty?
Yeah, down here with Dirk Stevens. Dirk, first off, you okay? And then what happened in that wild ride?
Yeah, we're all right. We just, off that restart, we just got pinched in the outside wall coming off 4, and I guess the 74 car, I think, is who pinched me off there. Maybe the spotter did.
Sorry, Dirk, we got another one out there.
We got to make another crash out there?
I'm afraid so. That's what they're telling me.
All right, Mike Cope. Thank you. Fortunately, Dirk is okay, but that was an ugly crash he had a moment ago. And then Mike Cope just looped around and got some sheet metal damage in the front of his Chevrolet Monte Carlo.
I'm assuming he made contact with someone trying to get in the corner for the lap car. I'm just assuming he made some contact trying to lap someone down the corner. Let's see if we can tell. That's Brad Payne, and it looks like they do make contact. Oh, I guess that the 25 car of Wayne Anderson, as he was going by, is who made contact with the left front fender.
And Cope spun. There was no caution flag, so take a look at take a look at Anderson's hood, which is bowed a little bit there in the right front, showing you where there was some contact between him and Mike Cope. Lap 70, so we're just 30 away from the halfway point. You see the right front fender has been peeled away, and that's where the contact was apparently in turn 1 a moment ago with Mike Cope. Well, the benefactor of all this has been that guy right there, Ron Young, in the Pizza Plus Chevrolet, trying to pick up his 3rd win in 1996. He is our leader here after 71 laps. Back in a moment. Back at Bristol Motor Speedway in the Gambler Bass Boats 200 NASCAR Slim Jim race, we approach the halfway point. Ron Young, the car number 4 to the right side of your screen, is the leader. There are 15 cars on the lead lap. Now, a moment ago, we had an incident involving the 2nd and 3rd place cars. We're going to show you that incident from Wayne Anderson's roof camera.
He was the 3rd place car, the 25, the white and red car, and that's Mike Cope in the 57, the Penrose car right in front. He makes contact with the 22 Brad Payne and loses control, and as Wayne Anderson goes by, they make contact and some damage to the right front of Anderson's car, the left front of Mike Cope's car.
That's Wayne Anderson we're riding with right there. Take a look at our field summary. Ron Young, Wayne Anderson, Rick Crawford, Sean Monroe. Good run for Sean. Brian Ross, David Hutto, his first All-Pro start in 6th spot. Conrad Burr, Jeff Fultz, a rookie. Kevin Evans, a pole sitter in Martinsville. Stephen Christian, a leading Rookie of the Year contender. There's our point leader, Toby Porter, now being shown in 11th spot. All 15 of those cars are on the lead lap.
Out of the 2nd place, that's Rick Crawford, the blue 14, and Wayne Anderson in the 25. There's Tammy Jo Kirk, the Lovables machine. He has gone a lap down to the leader, Ron Young.
Wayne Anderson started 9th, currently 2nd. There's Rick Crawford's serial from 7th to 3rd. Now Anderson trying to slip his way by on the inside of Tammy Jo Kirk. Makes the move.
Racetrack, very, very fast as they go around. And there we go by Jeep Flume in the 38 machine. Good Jeep, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was Jeep making his first All-Pro start here of the year. Kraft traffic, very difficult here. The driver said it's about a groove and a half racetrack. The passing is very, very tough. Now you see that is Hank Parker Jr. right up in front of Wayne Anderson. He moves to the inside of Hank Parker, and he'll have to go around the 79 car. That is Spanx Overbeck.
Meanwhile, there's the leader, Ron Young, as he tries to work his way around the traffic. And the 95, Clifford Strickland, the Mississippi 1-800-WARMIST.
Yeah, Mississippi Department of Tourism sponsoring that car. You got to be proud of those guys. They worked all night putting that car back together to get him in the field. Talking about Clifford Strickland out of Petal, Mississippi, 95 car.
And we see that Anderson and Crawford have almost caught our leader, Ron Young, once again. There's the lead of the race. Ron Young, Pizza Plus machine. I mentioned all these food sponsors.
I picked right up on that BP. I'm waiting for the delivery here any moment. Ron Young, who got his first victory. Looking at Rick Crawford, who won the season opener at Pensacola back in February. He is in third spot. Wayne Anderson has never won as a rookie in all-pro competition. First, second, and third on your screen there. The 4 is the first place car, 25 in second, and the 14 is third. Keeping score at home, 4 cars are in the garage or out of the race. The 96 car is parked at Dan Matthews. The 2 car is out. That is Steve Allison. The 90 also out, Kenny Imler, and the 41 of Mark Durkee, and of course the 44 of Dirk Stevens.
And Scott Sutherland once again is coming slow. I guess he's leaving the pits, trying to get back on the racetrack. Spent many, many laps in the pit area. Back up front, we see Ron Young trying his best to get by Nipper also. The 74 car, the white 74, started on the outside pole, and a piece of fiberglass led on the racetrack. Meanwhile, a battle for the lead. Anderson and Crawford closes in right on the back bumper of Anderson.
Ron Young trying to work to the bottom of Nipper. Also heavy traffic. Now he is bottled up. There comes the second.
Here comes Crawford.
Car, and Crawford is going to go to the inside.
No, he's going to get caught behind the slow car, the 10 car, and can't make it go.
Anderson hangs on to second position. Crawford got bottled up behind some slower cars. We told you traffic was tough to work. And once again, Ron Young is hung behind 2 cars. Brad King, the 22, the 74 of Alston. Now they snake their way through traffic. We are 5 laps away from the halfway point here in this 200-lap event at Bristol, Tennessee.
Crawford made a daring move just a moment ago, but Ralph Burris in the 10 car was on the inside where he was supposed to be. Brian Ball. And once again, Ron Young tries to look on the inside of Alston. Now he's going to, nope, can't quite make it. Alston wants desperately to stay in front of the 4 car in case of a caution flag. He would be able to make up that entire half mile he's behind. And Anderson goes up the racetrack. Here comes Crawford trying to get on the inside. Have him this time, but there's some traffic once again.
There's no place whatsoever to take a deep breath here at Bristol, Tennessee, Bristol Motor Speedway. Ron Young is our pole sitter. He has led since the drop of the green flag. That's the car number 4. 2-time winner this year. Trying to pick up his 3rd win. He'll get the halfway point this time by.
Oh, we got a spin. There's Keith White.
Whoa!
And the 74 car is going in. Oh, my goodness.
The 86 car went up over the rear of another car and went head-on into the wall, the concrete wall. That's Hank Parker Jr. up in turn 4. He launched, and fortunately, he is okay. He's able to wave to the crowd. Boy, some anxious moments. His dad, Hank Parker Sr., here watching him from the top of the truck down in the infield, had to have his heart skip a beat there when he saw his son just go launching over the rear of a car right into the concrete barrier.
And it looks like Wayne Anderson has taken the lead. Has taken the lead from Ron Young. Here we see, there's the leader. And once again, Alsop is trying his best to stay in front. There we see Keith White has spun. There Anderson goes by on the outside of Ron Young, comes by. And we see there the Hank Parker car has already made contact with the wall. Man,
that car had already come down out of the air. The car actually came across the rear. It looked like the 22 car of Brad Payne. As we'll watch again from a different camera. There's a 26 car spinning. That's Keith White. Watch the right side of your screen. There is the 95 car. That's the car that launched the 86. That is Clifford Strickland.
There's our leader. Well, that's Mike Cope.
Mike Cope at the far end of pit road getting a 4-tire change. Here's Ron Young in. And let's go down to Marty Reed in the Ron Young pit.
Well, Ron hits the marks, and the guys are going to work. And this is going to be interesting because of all the teams I've been able to scout so far on this side of pit lane, this is the only team I see putting sticker tires on. Everybody else is going to go with scuffs. Now, one of the things that we talked about a little bit earlier is that you only get 2 sets of tires. This one change, and it's for cost purposes. NASCAR wants to keep the price down. A set of tires, about $440 for a set of 4 Hoosiers. So it looks like 25 car has gone out, so this crew trying to get this back together because they're going to find themselves a little bit further back. Here comes some more cars. So this is a little bit longer stop than anticipated. Boy, one of the crew members urging everybody on, hurry, 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 and there they go.
Wow. He and Rick Crawford both were almost lapped in the pits, but evidently, I know that Ron Young changed 4 tires. I'm assuming that Rick Crawford as well changed 4 tires. Most of those cars in front of them only changed 2. But you know who really made a great pit stop was the Mike Cope automobile. He came in the pits. He's back in the pits changing left sides now.
Yeah, he only changed 2 tires at first stop. He came back in, and they're going to put left side tires on that car. We might clarify, Marty talking about you're allowed 2 sets of tires. NASCAR says you get the 4 tires that are on the car. That's considered 1 set, and you get 4 tires in your pit. So you actually can only make 1 pit stop, and most of those guys have made their 1 pit stop. The 25 car back on pit road. That's Wayne Anderson. He will come back in, and apparently they will change left side tires on his car, so they have used up their allowable 4 tires, and Marty, they're back in front of you.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You talked about the fact that they went for 2 tire change. They're also spraying some water up underneath, so we may have a little bit of an overheating problem, and we're told 14 car is also back in the pit lane. So they've got the left side rubber on, and now we're finding out, we got an official from NASCAR holding the car, and now he's giving the signal to go ahead.
Wayne Anderson. Here comes the 14 of Rick Crawford, Ray Stomkus and crew, putting left side tires on that car. So under caution here at Bristol Motor Speedway after lap 105. We'll take a break and come back with the car number 30 being shown as our leader. That's rookie Jeff Fultz. Back at Bristol after this. Back at Bristol, Tennessee, talking about slam bang action. How about arena football coming your way tonight from Phoenix, Arizona, the America West Arena out in Phoenix. It's going to be Anaheim taking on Arizona. That's midnight Eastern time, 9 p.m. Pacific. That's arena football right here on ESPN. Under caution for the 4th time at Bristol Motor Speedway. Our AutoZone recap, our leader, currently being shown the car number 33, Conrad Burr out of Concord, North Carolina. The Burr Construction Chevrolet has led 3 laps. There have been 3 lead changes. 4 cautions for a total of 22 laps. The average speed by virtue of the 4 caution flags, 85.159 miles per hour. Our leaders, Ron Young, who was our pole sitter. Wayne Anderson took the lead a moment ago just prior to that pit stop. And by virtue of the pit stop, Conrad Burr is our leader currently. Out of race thus far of the 36 starters, Dan Matthews, Steve Allison, Kenny Embler, and Mark Gerke. We'll take another break, and that's what's left of the Delco Voyager, car number 82, Hank Parker Jr., and thank you. Go Speed Racer, go. Thank you for that ESPN sign, and we'll come back to Bristol after this. Stay with us. Restart lap 111, the Slim Jim All-Pro action about a half a lap ago, and Conrad Burr is our leader.
Well, we have got a very interesting field right now. Conrad Burr, the white car, the leader. The black car, the second car, is Toby Porter. He is being shown a lap down. He is our points leader. The 21 car, another car that's a lap down. The second place car, the white machine of Sean Monroe. minus the left front fender.
Back in fourth, back in third spot would be Ron Young as they're black flagging one car. Now he finally comes down pit road to car number 21 being black flagged. That is Brian Ross out of Plymouth, Indiana. He comes to the pits.
Now we see Ron Young. This is the pole sitter, and the fellow's led most of the race. Has closed up on the back bumper off Monroe for second spot. And he has 4 fresh tires where Sean Monroe only has 2. He changed right sides on that pit stop. Ron Young, in fact, changed 4.
Mike Cope being shown in fourth spot. Cope is fourth. That's the battle for second. The 48 of Monroe and the 4 of Ron Young.
There's the 4th, 5th, 6th place car. Mike Cope, Wayne Anderson, and Rick Crawford. They still waging their battle that has been going on practically all race. We're talking about the 25 and the 14.
Harris Chevrolet Monte Carlos, the 57 and the 25. The 14 is the Ford Thunderbird. 118 laps are complete of 200. 10th race of the 22-race $1 million NASCAR Slim Jim All-Pro Tour here at the high banks of Bristol, Tennessee. Rick Crawford thinking about it. And Ron Young also thinking about it. Here's Crawford. Arizona, Texas, Circle Bar, RV Park. Anderson and Crawford.
Working their way around once again. Jeep Bloom in the 38 car. See Ron Young still trying to work on Sean Monroe.
Showing 9 cars in the lead lap here at 120 laps. I'm impressed with Sean Monroe. What a job he has done coming to Bristol, Tennessee for the first time.
He is doing a great job. I think the young man has a lot of talent as far as a race car driver. They tell me he's a very good surfer, but I wouldn't know about that because I've never seen a surfboard or even on one. Those freaks in the mountain of North Carolina did not quite serve surfing.
Crawford makes a move on the inside of Anderson. No, Anderson slams it over in turn 3.
And this time Crawford is alongside, has position, and we got a crash right in front of him. Ooh, right, left, there we go.
Whoa, Ron
Slide those
Young.
brakes, baby, that's it.
Probably got a cramp in his right leg the way he jammed that brake pedal down, but Ron Young able to get that car woed, and look at, oh, there comes the left front wheel off the 79 car.
Thanks, Overbeck. Out of Missouri or someplace.
Out of Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh, he is. Oh, there we go. Uh-oh, that's the spindle. That's everything. That's the whole left front assembly. Yeah, thank you, Mom. Go back there. Right rear tire is flat as well.
Banks making his first start this year. Attended 3 other races, didn't qualify.
Oh.
There's a better look at what's left of his left front tire.
Assembly.
Assembly.
That's brake hose.
And assorted chassis parts.
Yeah. There we see Spanks going up. But I'm telling you, folks, he was really scared for a moment. All those leaders coming down side by side. But there we see Crawford go on the outside.
Boy,
Anderson on the inside.
Ron Young is the one I thought was going to nail him head on. Watch the 4 car.
Sean Monroe's going straight forward. Turn left, Sean, at a baby. And we see the smoke off Ron Young's car.
Well, he jammed on those brakes big time to miss the 79 car of Spanks Overbeck. Well, caution for the 5th time. That car still sitting down on the apron of the racetrack.
He said, I can't believe that car is torn up that bad.
And we'll take a break. There's Rick Monroe, who is the flagman, going to get the Ben Gay Award for waving the yellow hanky enough tonight. He's already waved it quite a bit here. We're just 125 laps in. Back more from Bristol, Tennessee after this. And back to Bristol, Tennessee. We went green about a lap and a half ago, and Conrad Burr has sped away. The youngster from Concord, North Carolina, 27 years of age, still looking for his first All-Pro win. Leads him on. A problem. Contact again between Mike Cope and Wayne Anderson in turn 1. Anderson and Cope battling back and forth, and Cope nearly loses. If you watch Ron Young there and Sean Monroe, that's our second and third place car. Here's what happened a moment ago to the 25 and the 57.
Once again, Cope goes in the corner and makes contact with Jeff Foltz in the 30 car, and once again, he and Anderson make contact, and Rick Crawford almost involved in that melee.
Now, this is getting old. That's a battle back for fifth spot. 25 is Anderson, the 14 is Crawford.
Oh, Sean Monroe about spins, coming off the corner.
And here comes Young. Here comes Crawford, just flying by on the inside of Ron Young, and Crawford will try to move to the high side of Sean Monroe.
Now he's going to try the left side of Sean Monroe. And Sean's going to say, get out of the way. That's it. And Rick Crawford goes by.
Goes from fifth to second, and watch Ron Young to the inside of Monroe, makes the pass, and Monroe gets tapped by Foltz, the rookie. Whoa, they're all binding up and spinning behind him.
First gear, Sean, out of baby.
David Hutto goes high. Nipper also spins. The 84 car spins of Kevin Evans. And Tammy Joe puts it back in gear. There's Evans' car, the 84. He was our pole sitter in Martinsville. He was able to spin and stay out of that contact. What a mess.
What a mess is right. I think Sean needs to stop and change those left side tires because he almost spun the car coming off turn 4. Let's watch. There's Ron Young going by. That's the third spot. Takes a spot away, and just a little contact between the 30 Foltz and Sean Monroe. Around he goes, and meanwhile, back the white car gets a bump from the red car. Is that Nipper Alsop?
That's Nipper Alsop, and that's the David Hutto car going high, the Pontiac. Little different angle here again. We'll watch Young on the inside. That's the 4 car.
Well, the red car, I guess, is Tammy Joe Kirk. There we see Sean Monroe go around the spin cycle. And there we see that's Tammy Joe getting in the back of Nipper Alsop.
Evans spins in the 84 to miss Alsop. And somehow they're all able to fire and move away.
There's Tammy Joe, and she has some damage to the front of her car.
Well, caution now at an even half dozen. 6 caution flags tonight here at Bristol, Tennessee. Bristol Motor Speedway. 138 laps are complete, this time by Conrad Burr, being shown as our leader. Back with more exciting Slim Jim action after this. Track Facts are brought to you by Quaker State, the motor oil that exceeds the highest standards for engine protection.
Well, one of the most popular guys in the entire pit area would be Jeff Favozzi. Yeah, I know. You're wondering why in the heck am I laying down? Well, chiropractic. These guys are pulling about 4 Gs out there. Jeff, slide on in here. What's the biggest common problem that you run into out here?
Well, mostly what we've been treating for the drivers is a lot of neck and shoulder pain. Doing a lot of pre-race care for the drivers.
Can you take care of this little pinch for me? Oh, so I'm sorry. We got to go back racing, guys, but believe me, this is one of their favorites. Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks a lot, Marty. Just found a nice place. You got to find some place to lay down no matter where he is, okay? Marty Reed, our track. There's Ron Young in the car number 4. He is being shown back in third spot.
And there goes Rick Crawford for the lead, the 14 car.
Conrad Burr trying to hang on. Has not won in Slim Jim competition, but as you said, Vinny, Crawford putting a lot of pressure on him.
Today for Conrad Burr.
Conrad Burr has Joey DeCourcy as his crew chief. Remember that name, Joey DeCourcy? As you watched Crawford try to move to the inside, DeCourcy was Ron Barfield's crew chief here 2 years ago when he won this race.
I know Joey. Ooh, almost in contact. Once again, almost contact, and Crawford has the lead.
That puts Burr back in second spot. Now Ron Young is about 4 car lengths back of Burr.
Speaking of Ron Barfield, congratulations to Ron, the winner today of the ARCA race in Michigan.
How about that? And speaking of congratulations, how about Bobby Hamilton? Congratulations on their pole up there for the NASCAR Winston Cup Miller 400 coming up tomorrow.
And David Green, the winner of the Busch Grand National race in Myrtle Beach.
Let's replay that pass a moment ago. Watch Crawford make a move inside of Burr.
Then on the inside, goes in the corner. Look how close these cars are right there. Almost contact, and Crawford goes down, makes contact with the apron Fortunately, did not jerk the car up inside of Conrad Burr.
What do you mean almost contact? There's a wheel mark on the side of that car.
That's nothing.
Consider tonight that is almost contact.
Right. Consider tonight with all the fenders we've had flying off.
Okay, Rick Crawford, our leader. Rick is currently second in the point standings, and there's a bonus, by the way, after tonight's race being paid to the folks at Gatorade for the point leader. Crawford only 10 points behind Toby Porter. And if the race were to finish now, I think Crawford would take the point lead. Porter being shown back in 9th spot, 1 lap down.
Almost in the wall in a 38 car.
Apparently cut a right front tire. The fender flapping did a great job to keep that car from zipping across the racetrack into the wall. Now trying to get clear of traffic so he can dive back down and get into the pits.
How's he going to do that? There's traffic all around it. Come on, turn. No, no.
Better not now.
Oh, no. He's in the middle of the racetrack. This is not pretty, folks.
Pretty helpless feeling out there.
And here comes the leader, Rick Crawford, off the...
Now go. There you go. Made it behind Crawford. 50 laps to go here at Bristol, Tennessee. The Gambler Bass Boats 200. NASCAR Slim Jim All-Pro Series. Marty Reed, Benny Parsons, yours truly, Jerry Punch. Bringing you our live action. There is Rick Crawford, car number 14.
Won by Cliff Strickland in the 95 car. Something about Crawford and ESPN races. He really runs well on the shows we do. These Slim Jim All-Pro races.
Crawford's car owned by Tom Mitchell. Circle Bar Motel and RV Park out in Arizona, Texas. Co-sponsored by Hogan Lumber Company out of Cleveland, Georgia. Keep the car actually in Cleveland, Georgia.
The battle once again for 25 between 25 and 57. 25, Wayne Anderson. And 57, Mike Cope, the 21 car. Brian Ross in front. Those two guys have been around each other this whole entire race, and we can see they've bounced off each other at least twice. Battle for 4th and 5th. 21 car is a lap down.
Hard to believe Mike Cope has not won in Slim Jim competition this year. He is the winningest active driver on the tour with 12 victories. Talking about the driver of the 57 car, Henry Stack machine. Wayne Anderson again to win, but he's a rookie in the season.
Anderson goes high, almost missed that corner. Gave Cope the opportunity, could not quite capitalize on it. Right now, Cope might have a faster car, but catching a little, once again, he's going to try to get on the inside, but there's a slower car, George Engel. Can't make it fast because of Engel. And once again, traffic on the inside as Cope tries to get on the inside. Now he has to throw on his outside.
That's the car number 10 of Ralph Burris Jr. Now you're riding along the roof cam, the Porter Cable roof cam for Wayne Anderson, going by the 10 car of Burris. Being shown our leader. Conrad Burr in the 33 car is second. Ron Young is third. This battle you're watching here is 4th and 5th. There's the lead car about a half a lap away. That's the 14 car. There is Rick Crawford. And one car is spun, the 95 of Clifford Strickland. 1-800-WARMEST car, sponsored by the tourism industry of Mississippi.
And Cliff's going pretty warm right now, I might add. That's down between 3 and 4. There the leader goes by him.
Strickland still not getting that car in gear. Now backs it down toward the wall as you watch Crawford go by. And we'll show you what happened to the car number 95 just a moment ago.
Made some contact with Stephen Christian in the 0 car. And around goes Strickland. And he finally now has righted the car and is back going forward again.
Rick Crawford, 1 win. Hasn't had a pole this year. 7 top 5 finishes. That victory coming in the season opener at Volusia County Speedway down in Barberville, Florida.
Battle for 6th spot between Sean Monroe, the 48, and the outside pole sitter, the 74, Nipper Alsop.
Mike Cope makes a move on the inside of Wayne Anderson.
Finally is able to get by and move into 4th spot. There he is. We see Cope in 4th and Anderson Anderson back in 5th.
Anderson just slipped high in turns 3 and 4. You said a moment ago, it looked like Cope's car was considerably quicker. He's now pulled away by 4 car lengths from Anderson. There you're looking at Mike Cope from the roof cam on Wayne Anderson's car. Mike Cope, the 1994 Series champion. He won 5 events in 93, only won 2 in 94 when he won the championship, and won 5 last year in 1995. So 12 victories in the last 3 years, but has yet to visit victory lane here in 1996.
Gets the car a little bit loose as he came off that second corner on the outside of that slower car. And once again, he's on the outside. Maintains control that time. That was Scott Sutherland he eased by. We can see how these cars just fight for the bottom of the racetrack. As soon as they're by a slower car, they just dive to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to find that fastest way around the racetrack. And there, a slow car held up Mike Cope and almost allowed Wayne Anderson automobile to get right behind him.
That was a 22 car of Brad Payne that Cope was trying to get by. We mentioned there are 7 cars on the lead lap. Crawford, our leader, Conrad Burr in second, Ron Young is third. You're watching Cope there. He's the 4th place car. Anderson behind him in 5th. The 48 car of Sean Monroe is 6th. And the 7th place car is Nipper Alsop, a rookie driver. Those 7 cars on the lead lap.
See that Mike Cope, the 57, has caught Ron Young. He's the 3rd place car, and Cope right now is going someplace. Here he comes diving down to the inside, but can't quite get by.
Fenders and hood and bumpers flapping on that Chevrolet Monte Carlo. What's left of that Monte Carlo of Mike Cope. Reeling in Ron Young, ever so close. Look to the inside. There's a lap car, the 83 car as they go by.
Gary Gilchrist in 83. This might be just enough for Rick Crawford to win the race. Ron Young may be holding up 57 just enough because he is really, really fast right now.
Winding down from Mike Cope. He now moves to the inside of Young out of turn 2. Can't quite get a run on him.
Oh, now Young goes up the hill, and now Cope is on the inside, takes over that 3rd spot.
Now he'll set his sights on Conrad Burr, the 2nd place car. And Burr is only about 10 or 12 car lengths in front of him. There is Cope coming out of 2, and Burr is just entering turn 3. About 650 feet separating those 2 cars in 2nd and 3rd spots.
The colors of Pizza Plus, who was kind enough to feed the crew here on Thursday afternoon. Drivers, mechanics, announcers that happen to be in the presence.
I wonder who that would have been.
Wayne Anderson, the 25, has caught, and we see something dragging on the back of the 4 car. Once again, Ralph Burris in the 10 car, the red number 10. And George Engel in the 17.
Ron Young able to pull up around the outside of Engel to keep Anderson behind him. That is 4th and 5th position. Meanwhile, Mike Cope, as we pull up, there is Cope. He is moving down the 2nd place car, who slows a little bit. Now
we got a crash. Toby Porter, the points leader, is in a crash.
That's the 03, Benny. That is Ken Alexander and Tammy Jo Kirk. Alexander, who owns the Grease Lightning Company, has an identical paint job of Toby Porter. There is the damage on the 52 car of Tammy Jo Kirk.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. All you Toby Porter fans, I apologize. I looked up, saw the Grease Lightning, and thought, sure enough, it was Toby Porter, the points leader.
Well, Ken Alexander owns the Grease Lightning Company, and thus will paint his car. And so Tammy Jo Kirk in the lovable Chevrolet. Didn't have such a lovable contact a moment ago. Lost part of the front fender. And here's a replay looking over toward turn 2. Boom.
What caused it, we have no idea. Tough break for Rick Crawford because he had a nice lead. And now the 57 car, Mike Cope, if he's able to get by the 33 of Conrad Burr, we just might have ourselves a battle for the lead. The laps are winding down, about 19 to go.
And we've had a lot of jabs and punching going on here at Bristol, Tennessee. But how about some boxing in real time? ESPN2 Boxing tomorrow. Michael Nunn taking on Everardo Armenta at Houston, Texas, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. That is boxing on ESPN2 from the Summit in Houston, Texas. Coming up on the Deuce at 10 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night. Heavyweight punching going on here at Bristol, Tennessee, BP.
Rick Monroe, the flagman from Piqua, Ohio. There he is. There's old Rick. He's giving the signal to the field. 1 lap to go. Marty Reed, what do you think? Can Cope catch him?
Well, we're going to find out from David Moore. Can he catch now? I mean, you got your third in line on this restart.
Yeah, I'm telling you, we've been fighting back all night long. The Penrose Meat Snacks car has been really strong, and we just can't catch a break. So Mike's keeping digging. We got 20 laps to go or so, and we're going to try to pull this thing off.
Well, this may be the break they needed, guys, because he's tucked up right in behind first and second.
Looked like Mike Cope was headed to his first victory at Topeka last week, and he lost power with 2 laps to go while Leading could not catch a break. And now with laps winding down, the green flag waves. 183.17 remains at Bristol, Tennessee. Crawford, our leader, Burr in second, and there is Cope right on Burr's back bumper in third spot.
Anderson and Young battling for fourth. And Anderson just almost drives the wrong time. And a crash on turn 4. Heavy contact, several cars. They're still wrecking, by the way.
Well, 52 and the 03 of Alexander. That is Tammy Jo Kirk and Ken Alexander coming together. Kirk behind Alexander, and heavy damage in the car number 30 that climbed the wall. That's Jeff Fultz out of Fayetteville, Ohio. King Construction Chevrolet.
There we see the Brian Ross car. The left front is almost tore completely from the car.
Replay again. Watch right side of your screen. The 52 car in the 03.
Tammy Jo gets in the back of the 03. Around he goes, and there we see Jeff Fultz. Watch as he just inside the end of the wall, almost head on, and cars spun behind trying to avoid those cars. Once again, another look.
Oh, heavy contact by Fultz. The car is spinning behind in the 21 car.
Brian Ross hit so hard, but he sure hit someone awfully hard. Another look. Fultz into the wall. There we see the Brian Ross car. No, I can't see who he hit so hard.
Right side of your screen. Watch a 43 car boom right in the back of another car. That was David Hutto in a Pontiac. And there's a 21 car. They're waving the green flag, indicating the pits are open. But Brian Ross's car, number 21, not able to make it back in the garage area. He sits right at the entrance to pit road out of turn 4.
Rick Crawford, the leader of this race, the 14 car, did catch a break because Mike Cope was not able to get by Conrad Burr. And Mike might have the fastest car right now. Rick Crawford may have the fastest. Conrad Burr looks like his tires have gone away just a little bit, and he is slipping and sliding. But meanwhile, he is a second-place car. David Hutto loses a lap. We can see he made a pit stop to repair some of the damage on the nose of his car. Was a lap while in the pits.
That's a Joel and Susie Leonard on Pontiac that Bobby Hamilton drove a couple times this year. Drove it at Martinsville, finishing 4th. At Nashville, finished 7th. And apparently they are going to display the black flag to chant Tammy Jo Kirk. And what's left of her Chevrolet Monte Carlo. Not looking very lovable right now. Some of the fenders hanging off, some of the framework exposed over the engine compartment. And Tammy Jo, 34 years of age.
She's coming down pit road. Meanwhile, the wrecker's back trying to get Brian Ross on the hill out of the way. Having trouble turning the car. We see Tammy Jo come to the pits.
And so we're under caution for the 7th time this evening at Bristol, Tennessee. 12 laps remain in this 200-lapper Rick Crawford being shown as our leader. We'll be right back. Our ESPN Speed Roll coverage of the Gambler Bass Boats 200 is being brought to you by the more than 1,325 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. By Quaker State, the motor oil that exceeds the highest standards for engine protection. And by the NASCAR Story. To order, call 800-71-NASCAR.
Well, we were going to go green flag racing. They gave them the signal, but there's a rule in the NASCAR touring divisions. With 10 laps to go, the lead lap cars line up nose to tail, all the rest of the cars behind them. When they gave the signal, those guys pretended like it was 25 laps to go.
And let's check in on the pits with Marty Reed. Marty?
Down there with Robbie Geis, Crawford's crew chief, and I got to ask you, does he have anything left with the... Were you happy this last caution came out?
Any caution you get is going to be good the way this series works, but we got plenty of car here left, and this should be no problem. And our automotive specialist is making us a great motor, and Hoosier's making great tires, and we're going to bring the Circle Bar, Hogan Lumber, John A. Holiday Ford home to victory, hopefully here in about 8 laps.
I'm impressed. You remembered all the names with all this pressure. Very good, very good.
I'm impressed, too.
All right, laps winding down as we are getting them in line. Speaking of keeping people in line, I want to give a thank you to one of the guys that's been around for a long time, and Bill Desmond, working with NASCAR. I'm not sure what Bill Desmond's official title is, but he works so hard as a media coordinator with the Slim Jim All-Pro Tour and also the NASCAR Goodies Dash Series. Bill's going to be retiring after this year, and he doesn't know we're going to say this, but Bill, we thank you very much for all you've done for radio and television over the years. You are certainly a class individual, and you are absolutely number one. There's none better when it comes to getting us information for a NASCAR race. 7 laps to go at Bristol, Tennessee. Rick Crawford comes charging out of turn 4. The green flag waves what should be a sprint race and a shootout. And Benny Crawford is pulled away now by 5 car lengths.
Got a great jump on Conrad Burr, but meanwhile, Cope trying his best to get alongside Burr. Can't do it. If Burr goes up the hill, he's going to lose that second spot. 5 to go this time. Conrad Burr, the 33, still holding on to second place.
That's exactly what Rick Crawford wanted to see with Burr and Cope going at it. Now they reel in Crawford somewhat.
Crawford ran across a slow car and lost a lot of space to Conrad Burr. Here comes Conrad, closing up right on the back bumper.
It'll be 3 to go this time by Crawford, a 3-time winner, won this year. Burr has never won in Slim Jim competition, and Cope still looking for the first win in 1996. Battles all over the racetrack. Ron Young trying to hold off Sean Monroe. That is for 4th spot. There is that battle we're talking about. 4 is Ron Young. Here comes Monroe on the inside.
And some contact. Sean Monroe's going to try it on the outside. Ron Young's car just simply gone away, and Monroe's trying it on the outside. Meanwhile, white flag for Crawford down in turn 1.
And this battle is side by side for 4th spot. Monroe takes the 4th spot. Ron Young is 5th. Meanwhile, in turn 3, as the car is spinning in the backstretch, here is Crawford out of 4. He will take the victory. Burr finishes 2nd. Cope is 3rd. And 4th is Anderson. Let's watch that battle for 5th. Sean Monroe will be 5th, and 6th will be Ron Young, and Nipper Allison 7th. Boy, what a finish. What a wild one here in Bristol, Tennessee.
And some cars sitting up against the inside wall spun on the backstretch.
Looks like the Clifford Strickland car. Car number 95, the Mississippi Department of Tourism Ford. Got a little sightseeing on that final lap as the car number 14. Rick Crawford brings his Ford Thunderbird to victory lane, and we'll come back to talk to the winner of the Gambler Bass Boats 200 at Bristol, Tennessee after this. Stay with us. Beautiful night for racing here in the mountains of eastern Tennessee. Bristol Motor Speedway, great crowd on hand, and they saw an exciting one, 200 laps. Let's go to victory lane and Marty Reed.
Yeah. Oh! Well, fellas, I'm afraid I'm going to be a bit wet for this interview. Thank you, guys. Hey, Rick, that felt kind of cool. Congratulations on win number 2. I hope I don't get electrocuted here.
Well, I'll tell you, we won win number 1 without leading the lap. And, this time here, Ray Stonkus had this Circle Bar Motel and RV Park Ford hooked up here at Bristol. We won last year at Martinsville. We're here now at Bristol winning. All of a sudden, I think it's time for Daytona, don't you think?
Hey, I got to tell you, I think you realize this. You're in the points lead again.
Well, I know tonight is a halfway challenge for Gatorade, and we pick up an extra $2,500. So that means a lot to us, and thank God for Circle Bar Motel and RV Park, Tom Mitchell out in Ozona, Texas, and Keith Dorton. Check out the horsepower, man. We got it. So, I mean, Hogan Lumber Company back in Cleveland, Georgia, all those guys have been behind us, but can't say enough about my crew, Robbie Geist, William Lusk, everybody. The 1-800-COLLECT boys from the truck team come here and helped us change tonight, so really appreciate it, guys. Benny, you could have run good in this car tonight as well as it was handling, buddy.
I'm waiting for him to say something in my ear here. Hey, listen, you're now cut that down. You know, you were second in laps led to Toby Porter. You came in with 100. Now you picked up another 55. So, I mean, you're really closing in on taking control of the whole thing here.
I'll tell you what, you know, that lap deal on the back straightaway when it looked like everybody moved over and we had the marshmallows cooking on that. I mean, we come down through there and it was like everybody moved over. We went to the front. That's where this car belongs. It's great. Thanks.
So, what's next?
Like I say, Daytona. How about Daytona?
Yeah.
Daytona maybe next year, but this year the championship. That's what we're really going for, and everything looks real good.
Rick Crawford, he's your winner.
Thanks.
37-year-old Rick Crawford from Mobile, Alabama, picks up his second win in 1996. What a great run for the Ford Thunderbird driver. He gave a mention to Keith Dorton, his engine builder, an automotive specialist. Crawford had never finished a race in Bristol, Tennessee. Boy, what a way to come back tonight going to victory lane. Conrad Burr finishes second, Mike Cope, Wayne Anderson, Sean Monroe. A great run for the rookie, Ron Young. He was our pole sitter. Nipper Alsop, also a rookie in seventh. Stephen Christian, Toby Porter, who was the points leader. Kevin Evans, Carl Long, David Hutto, first ever All-Pro start. Finishes 12th, Terry Harris, Ken Alexander, and Keith White. 16 through 30. Kurt Huff, Scott Sutherland, George Ingold, Tammy Jo Kirk, involved in a couple incidents. Bobby Russ Wood, Cliff Strickland, who spun on that final lap, finishes 21st. Taking a look at Brian Ross back in the field. Jeep Flume, Spanx Overbeck, and Hank Parker Jr., a wild somersault of a ride, finishes 30th. And, of course, Dan Matthews, Dirk Stevens upside down the front stretch in the 44 car. Steve Allison, Steve Cook, Kenny Imler, and Mark Gerke. I think Marty's caught up with our second place finisher.
Yeah, Conrad Burr. Tell me about it. I mean, they looked like you just didn't have quite enough to catch him at the end.
No, we only got right side tires when we pitted, and he had 4, and he was a little better, but the cautions were helping me. It was my car. I was catching him slowly, but I just didn't have enough for him. I was sliding out in the middle. But we run pretty decent.
Yeah, I'll say. It was just surviving here was pretty. How'd you manage to escape some of those things?
I tell you, I don't know. It was some of these guys out here are pretty crazy. All I can say. I mean, they halfway kept their head on, but they want to race you in the corners, and you don't need to be doing that here. I'd just like to thank Joe DeCourcy, Carrera Shocks, and my father.
Okay, there's your second place finisher, Conrad Burr.
Conrad Burr, what a job. He picked up his first pole earlier this year in Salem, Indiana, and now gets his best career finish, a second, with a national television audience watching here in Bristol, Tennessee. What a great night for racing here. Of course, coming up, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on the pole. Mike Skinner, 3 consecutive wins in a row. Can he make it 4 in a row? That's coming up next. For Marty Reed and Benny Parsons, I'm Jerry Punch. Once again, congratulating that young man, 37-year-old Rick Crawford, on his second win in 1996. And don't forget, it's NASCAR Craftsman Trucks coming up next from right here in Thunder Valley. So long, everyone, from Bristol, Tennessee.